Welcome to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including today, Dish is suing several of its competitors in live TV streaming services, including Vidgo and Fubo. We'll break down what's happening there. DIRECTV tells Warner Brothers Discovery its CNN stream on its Max service may violate its contracts. We'll break that down. And most cord cutters say they are not looking to buy a new streaming player. Is this going to spell big trouble for major tech giants? We'll talk about these stories and a whole lot more here in a quick second. If you want to learn more about these stories, check out the show notes down below and in the first pinned comment. I'll put a link to each story there so you can read about them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. I'd love to hear from you. If you're new here, do me a big favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. So YouTube recommends our videos to more people, helping us grow, helping us support our families, and hopefully helping you break free from the high cost of TV. All right, let's start off. Dish has been on the warpath when it comes to some of their intellectual property. Earlier this year, they went after iFit, NordTrak's company, over some of the streaming technology it used in its NordTrak equipment there for its fitness ones. And it won a contract there and was able to defend its trademark. Now it's using that same patent there to go after Vidgo, another competitor live TV service to its Sling TV service, and Fubo. It has sued both in the last month, and it's very interesting to see what happens here. It's very technical, very complicated, but basically Dish has a patent that relates to how the bitrate, the quality of the stream is streamed out to on live streaming. And now they're going after Vidgo and Fubo, asking for damages for them infringing on their patent. We'll see if they win. They already won a similar case against a totally different industry, though. We'll see how it all plays out. Definitely an interesting move by Dish. Let me know. What do you think of that? What's your opinions on this story? If you want to read everything about this lawsuit, leave a comment down below and in the first pinned comment. I'd love to hear from you. Next up, now last week, Wednesday, CNN on Max launched on the Max streaming service. This is a live 24/7 feed of a combination of original programming for Max and content from CNN's own cable network there. So it's kind of a mixture of both streaming. Sometimes live, sometimes simulcast, sometimes delayed. There's a lot that goes into it, plus a huge catalog of on-demand CNN content is now available on Max. Well, DIRECTV apparently is not too happy with that. They've sent a letter to Warner Brothers Discovery saying that may violate their contract there. They're probably also going to be really unhappy later this week when Max launches its sports streaming service and starts simulcasting sports on Max that also air on TNT and TBS. Now, this is kind of similar to a little bit of the fight we saw with Spectrum versus Disney. Spectrum was very unhappy with Disney's streaming services, the reported direct-to-consumer ESPN product, Disney Plus, and more. This resulted in Disney-owned channels going dark on Spectrum, and Spectrum ending up agreeing with Disney to drop a collection of channels, including Freeform and other Disney like XD channels from its lineup over the streaming with it. And that, hey, Spectrum customers will soon get free ESPN Plus and Disney Plus, for example. Well, DIRECTV fully support for that effort, and now the question is, are they about to try to do the same thing with Warner Brothers Discovery? We don't know exactly when their contract's up, but they seem to feel like this is a violation of their current contract, and that may open up them our ability to start negotiations earlier, maybe? We'll see how this plays out. I'm sure lawyers on both sides are going to be well paid when it comes to this, as both sides will fight to say, hey, this is perfectly within our contract, or this is not within our contract. You can understand Mac, Warner Brothers Discovery wants to grow Max. They want to put content in there that's going to get people to subscribe. DIRECTV says, hey, but you have a contract with us and you're kind of undercutting us on this deal. We'll see how it all plays out. All right, next up, we recently did a survey of over 2,000, almost 2,500 of you, our readers and viewers, and asked if you plan to buy a new Roku. Surprisingly, over 70% of you said no, not just Roku. I don't plan to buy any streaming players. Fire TV, Apple TV, Google TV, etc. Now, the people who did say they intend to buy one, 13% said they would buy a Roku, 9% said Fire TV, 2.7% Apple TV, and 2.5% Google TV. Over 70% of you just said, not worth it. I'm not going to be subscribing to or buying a new streaming player with that. Very interesting. I'd be very interested to see how this plays out. We don't know about any new Rokus yet. There's been a lot of reports that there was one coming. We know a new Fire TV came out. So I wanted to ask a question of you. Do you intend to buy a new streaming player? Or are you happy? I kind of think that this is kind of turning into a situation where most people have a streaming player that does everything they need. A slightly faster streaming player doesn't seem to entertain them at all to drop $100 on a new Roku Ultra or a new Fire TV Cube, for example, or an Apple TV, when they say, hey, what I have now works just fine. Why would I want to go and spend another $100 for that, or even for the cheaper $50 range Fire TV Stick 4K Max, for example, if what I have now works just fine? And I think that's kind of like what we're seeing with cell phones. We're seeing a decrease of people rushing out to buy the new cell phones every year because they're saying, hey, what I have here is perfectly fine. I have no reason to rush out and buy a new one. So let me know, do you intend to buy one? I really do think this could put pressure, and it kind of supports the reason why we're seeing Amazon and Roku and others dive into free ad-supported streaming as a way to diversify their business here, to try to make more money off the people who already own their devices rather than just relying on selling them new ones. All right, I got some pricing news that's not too good for cord cutters. Warner Bros. Discovery announced yesterday that Discovery Plus will be raising its price. It'll be going up $2 a month for the ad-free plan. The ad-supported plan will remain unchanged in the US. In Canada, you will see some price changes. Also, check out the story down below. But this is the first price hike in Discovery Plus since it launched in January 2021. So over 2 years of having the same price before they did a $2 price hike. Now, a lot of that content is now available in Max. They did kind of merge a majority, not all, but a majority of the Discovery Plus content into Max. You may want to consider checking that out for a lot more content. Also, according to the Wall Street Journal, Netflix reportedly plans to raise the price of its ad-free plans after the current actor strike ends. Now, the writer's strike has come to an end. They've come to a deal, but actors still need to reach a deal with studios. According to reports, Netflix reportedly plans to raise its ad-free subscription tiers after the Hollywood actor strike ends. Now, that's a big after, because we don't even know when that's going to happen, and we don't know what they intend to raise it to or what the details there of it are, but they are reportedly looking at doing that with it. So we'll have to keep a close eye on it. Next up, deal of the day. Prime Day is next week. The October big Prime Day deals, wherever Amazon's calling it this year. But there's already some great cord-cutting deals, including the new Fire TV Cube, which is actually a year old now. The current model of it, I should say, on sale at its lowest price ever of $109.99. Very powerful streaming player that does a lot if you've been thinking about getting one. Lowest price it's ever been at. Link in the show notes down below if you are interested in checking that out. All right, earlier this week, we reported that Bally Sports would like to get back on Hulu and YouTube TV. Now, according to the lawsuits, or the bankruptcy paperwork, excuse me, we have some idea what ended up breaking up the two companies. Back in 2020, YouTube TV and Hulu Plus Live TV both dropped Bally Sports, saying it just wasn't worth it for them. Apparently, at the time, Bally Sports was making over $200 million a year from both services, and they wanted to bring that up to over $300 million a year from both services. Both companies basically said, not worth it for us, and they dropped both. They said that, for the number of customers that use it, just wasn't worth paying all that money. It probably would have resulted in a price hike, bringing $300 million, let's say $150 million each to them, roughly, in additional costs every year to run the service. We'll see. The question now is, will Bally Sports be willing to accept less in order to get back on? I'm sure YouTube TV is saying, hey, fewer people even now are watching it. You now have streaming options for people to stream it in many markets, and several sports teams are no longer included from the MLB. There's rumors they may even drop some NHL and NBA team. That's still all in flux. Reportedly, though, Bally Sports really wants this deal to help make the company profitable. We'll see what happens here. Question is, would you be willing to pay more? I know a lot of people, when I ask that question, say, I'll happily pay as an add-on. Of course, Bally Sports doesn't want that. They want you to offer it included in the base package so everybody pays for it, even if they don't watch it. We'll have to keep a close eye on it. All right, last story up of the day, Friendly TV has added 2 new channels and dropped 2. So over the week, they announced that they were adding 2 new channels, but they also dropped the Sportsman channel and World Fishing Network. In its place, they added the Pursuit channel and Waypoint TV. A little variety there. There are still a lot of outdoor lifestyle channels on Friendly TV. And a day early, yesterday, they also added Me TV Plus, the classic TV on the new network that airs classic TV shows. It's only been around a few years, so I don't know if we can call that a classic network yet. But tons of content there on Friendly. keep in mind with that price hike coming later this year with it all. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you for your support. We'll be back again real soon.